Hi everyone, welcome to Nithrania Game Club. My name is Branislav Berec and you're watching Game in a Nutshell, a series of videos designed to teach various board games. Today we will take a look at the City of Gears from the Grey Fox games. In the City of Gears game, players will expand from their factory board to the new city and they will get prestige points. They will gain prestige by discovering new city tiles, activating existing city tiles or linked tiles, and at the end of the game they will get victory points for their developments and for the city tiles they control. To set up the game, select 9 city tiles randomly and place them face down into this 3x3 grid. In the rulebook, you can find the alternative setup for a 3-player game and a low-conflict 4-player game. When you finish setting up these city tiles, add the 2 victory points tokens on each of those tiles. Then each player will receive a factory board, basically his player board, and places it to the center of one edge of the city. Each player receives 6 workers, 3 of them standing up and ready, and 3 of them laid down to be unlocked during the game. Place the converter development into the colored spot in the top middle of the factory board, 3 dice of your color, and the ownership markers of your color. Now determine the start player, which in our example can be the blue player, and all other players in a clockwise order will receive the starting bonus. The starting player gets nothing. Second player receives 1 prestige point, which is a 1 victory point. Third player receives 1 victory point and 1 movement token. And the fourth player will receive 2 prestige tokens and 1 movement token. Take 40 standard gears and place them into the bag. If you have any promo gears, you may have more than 40. So when setting up the game, randomly select only 40 gears. For now, keep these 4 opening day gears aside. City of Gears is played over a series of turns. Starting with the first player and then going in the clockwise direction, each player performs 1 turn. Each turn consists of 4 phases, which need to be performed in the exact order. First, you roll the dice and produce resources. Second, you activate city tiles. Third, you perform actions. And fourth, there is a spoil overages phase. After that, it's the next player's turn. In the first phase, you take the dice and roll them. In the second phase, you can activate the city tiles. Each city tile displays the requirements for activation. The first symbol says you need to have a worker on that tile, and then you need to spend these depicted resources. You can spend resources from your dice or from the tokens on your factory board. When you spend your dice, simply set them aside as an indication that they have been used. So when you have your worker on a tile and you spend the resources, you gain this depicted benefit. In this case, it's 2 victory points. You may activate more city tiles if you wish so, but you can activate each city tiles only once per turn. If you don't want to activate a city tile, you can still collect these bonuses from each city tile that is linked to the tile that you have activated. Here's an example. Yellow player activated this city tile and gained 2 victory points. These gears with the yellow player markers are bridges that connect 2 adjacent city tiles. So the yellow player has this city tile linked to this city tile and also to this city tile. So after the yellow player activated this city tile, he has this one linked through this bridge and he can gain this benefit, which is 1 victory point. Next, there is another city tile linked through the yellow bridge and this city tile has this movement token, and yellow player can collect this movement token as well. So first you need to activate at least one city tile, and then all connected city tiles can give you link bonuses even though you don't have your workers there. However, you can only collect these link bonuses from the tiles which you have not activated this turn. In the third phase, you can perform following actions in any order. If you spend one Steam resource either as a token or as the icon on a die, or if you spend this movement token, or even if you spend this zap symbol, again either as a token or as a symbol on a die, you can move one of your workers to any adjacent tile which has your gear with your player marker. So you can do, for example, something like this. You can only move through the gears with your player marker, so even though yellow player can move from this tile to this tile, green player cannot move to this tile because he doesn't have the gear with his color here. In addition, if you spend a zap symbol, you can do rapid movement. That means you can take one of your workers and move it any number of tiles through your bridges. So I could move from this space to this one. If you would move into an unexplored city tile, first take those 2 victory points and add them to your supply. Then flip the tile face up and move your worker onto that tile. Once per turn, you can draw and place gears. For each gear symbol you spend and set aside, you can draw one gear from the bag. Each gear has a special ability printed on it. You have 2 options. You can either place a gear on the map and mark it with your color, or you can place a gear as a development under your factory board. Every turn you can place maximum 1 development and maximum 1 bridge. When you place a bridge, it has to be adjacent to a tile where you have your workers. In addition, you may not place bridges connecting to the factories of other players. And of course, you may only place a bridge if there is an empty space there. When you place your development, you place it into one of these empty spots. And in case you have all your spots already occupied, you can still take one of those gears away and replace it with the new one. However, you may never discard this basic gear. These developments are essential to your strategy, and you may only use each development once per turn. It is very helpful to mark the development you use with your marker just to make sure you don't use it second time during the same turn. If you spend more than 2 cog resources, let's say you spend 3, you can draw 3 gears, but remember you can only use one of them as a development and one as the bridge. So put all the remaining gears back into the bag. When you spend a zap symbol, you may destroy one enemy worker from the same tile where you have your workers. The destroyed worker goes back to the opponent's factory board. If you spend 2 zap symbols, you may destroy opponent's bridge or a link, again adjacent to the tile where you have your workers. The gear is removed from the game and the player marker is returned to the player's supply. Once per round, you can construct new worker on your factory board. Workers are unlocked from left to right, and you have to pay the price depicted above the worker. So for 2 prestige points, I can unlock the worker and make it available for immediate use. In the last phase, you can convert unspent dice into resource tokens. So I can convert this cog symbol on a die into a cog token, and I can do the same with this zap symbol. You can have maximum 1 token on each spot, and then there is another spot which can hold a token of any type. In addition, you can have unlimited number of movement tokens stored over here. If you have a zap token here and you don't want to convert this zap symbol into a token, you can take a zap symbol and sell it for 1 prestige point. You can do it multiple times, so you can even sell this zap symbol or a zap token for another prestige point. When the 9th and final city tile is revealed, the grand opening day is very close. First of all, each player will now roll 4 dice. Including the player who revealed the last city tile, he takes the 4th die and rolls it immediately. Second, take these 4 white opening day gears and put them into the bag. Anytime a player needs to draw a gear and draws a white gear, set that gear aside and draw a replacement one. When 2 white gears are already drawn, the game end is very close. When any player would draw a 3rd white gear, the game ends immediately. The player who drew this gear doesn't even finish his turn. He's not allowed to do anything. The game simply ends immediately. To calculate the final score, each player counts his prestige points, any endgame bonuses on the development gears, and finally prestige points from controlling the city tiles. The player with the highest number of these workers and bridge gears or link gears is awarded this number of prestige points. In case of a tie, the player with the higher number of these link gears is the winner. If even that would be the same, both players would receive this prestige points. Award the prestige points for every city tile in the game, and then the player with the highest total number of prestige points is the winner. And that's how you play the City of Gears. If you have any questions or comments, please put them into the comment sections below. If you like the show, please subscribe. My name is Branislav Berec, and until next time, you've been watching Game in a Nutshell.